You are watching Vault Business Podcast. Today, I have a very, very special guest to me. Through tax strategy, she's changed my life and changed my business. And before I introduce her, I do want to put a disclaimer out there. This is not tax advice. This is merely for entertainment purposes, for you guys to get to know us and for you to know the topic about tax strategy. So today I have a very special guest to me. She's on the show today. Her name is Yesenia Gonzalez. Welcome, Yesenia. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you.
Now, I do want to do this. Yesenia, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me how long you've been in the tax game and how many people you've helped in your career doing taxes.
Awesome. That's a great question. No, thank you, Jose. Thank you for having me here today. It's really an honor because I know that you reach out to a lot of people and I love what you contribute. It's just awesome. And then to be a part of that is great. So that's an awesome question, Jose. I've been in the industry for many years. I was 25.
Okay.
So I'm not going to tell you how old I am right now, but I've been in the industry for over 30 years and I've helped thousands of people. And the reason why I'm very proud to say that right now, just in an annual basis, I help over 5,000 people.
Wow.
On an annual basis on tax preparation, tax strategy. I've been doing it for a while because I truly believe that when you put yourself on the other side, when I sit on this side of the desk, I always imagine myself on the other side of the desk. What would I want to hear?
Right.
So when I put myself in that situation, I really tailored. I just imagine, okay, Yesenia, what do people want to know?
Right.
So I've been doing this for many years. I truly believe in it. I believe in helping families. I believe in education. And most importantly, I believe in helping families save in taxes. Jose, I don't like paying taxes. Do you like paying taxes? No, absolutely. So I don't like it. I know that you don't like it. We are Americans and we know we have to pay taxes. But I always say I only want to pay my portion.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I know that it hasn't been easy for you, being in the tax game. I mean, you have to constantly be learning about new tax laws. What is your why? How do you keep renewed every single year with all of the stuff that's coming out?
Awesome. No, you know what? My motivation is people like you, and knowing that I made a difference in your life makes a big impact in my life. Knowing that I love what you said when we just started, that I helped you, that I changed your life. That is my motivation, to know that I made a difference in someone's life. You know what, Jose? When you engage yourself in a career or an industry for selfish reasons, I feel that people die.
Yeah.
But when you are doing it as a service or you are a servant, and you know that you're making a difference in people's lives, it doesn't matter what you're going through. That motivation, that focus will always keep you on track because you have a sole purpose. And I found my purpose, Jose.
Wow, that is awesome. So I do want to tell the audience, so Yesenia is not only my tax strategist. We go to her every single year. My wife and I sit down, go over taxes. Nobody likes to do taxes, but it's the most important thing. But Yesenia is also my family. So, she's my aunt. She's my mom's first cousin. I know it may sound weird that I would call you my aunt, but this is just how Mexican people work, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so you're my aunt. So she is near and dear to my heart because not only is she my family, but she helps me with, tax strategy every single year. We sit down together, my wife and I and her at her office, and we're not strategizing for the current year. We're strategizing for the following year. How does that work when you sit down with somebody?
Well, think about it, Jose. Whatever happened, and whatever's happening is happening. So it's very hard to correct something. I'm going to give you an analogy. My mom and dad, we come from very humble background. Mom and dad worked in the agriculture, grapevines. And my mom would always tell me, when a grapevine is just growing, it's very tender. And you can guide it any which way when it's brand new. After it's old, it's actually so thick that if you try to mold it, Jose, it's gonna break.
True.
So I see that if we try to fix something that we're in a current situation or something that happened in the past, sometimes people break because they can't survive the situation. So I like to think ahead and always be preventive and help people understand, hey, this is where we're at now. See, this is the situation now. Let's work on a plan And let me get into your vision and your goals. So let me put a plan so I can get you here.
Right.
And then we work towards it. So it's imperative that you work towards the future. It is almost impossible, Jose, to fix the past. And then if the situation is now, then we have to work even harder. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's harder to fix a current situation versus us preventing any bloopers, any hiccups. It's not going to be smooth sailing, Jose,
right,
because we can't control the tax laws. You know that depending on who's on office, you have there's different tax reforms, things happen. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that when we are working towards the future and we are dealing with the current situation, you're more in control.
Yeah.
And then you know what to expect. And it's not like you're going to have this unexpected financial crisis. You say, hey, I know the storm is coming, or you know what, it's going to be smooth sailing. This is planned. This is a plan.
That is so awesome. So this stat is, I'm going to ask you if it's going to surprise you. 47% of Americans do not tax strategize throughout the whole year when they go meet with their tax person. So does that 47%, does that surprise you?
No.
Okay.
No.
47% of Americans are not sitting down and figuring out what they're going to do with their taxes. And one thing that we have to understand, if you're a W-2 wage earner, a business owner, an S-Corp, or corporation, it doesn't matter. Everybody sits down and tax strategizes, because the money that you're giving to the government and telling them how much you should pay, you should have a say-so in that strategy. So how do you sit down with somebody, even if they're a W-2 wage earner, to help them?
You know, and that's a very good point. Everybody has a need. And it doesn't matter if you're a wage earner or if you're a business owner, it doesn't matter. There's always a strategy, because let's say that, hey, let's talk about home ownership.
Right.
Let's talk about home ownership. You know, people have this idea that, hey, now that the standard deduction was increased, now we don't even, some people say, I don't even itemize. I'm a wage earner. I don't have to strategize. My itemization, mortgage interest doesn't even count, so it doesn't matter. That's incorrect. Because just because a standard deduction was increased doesn't mean, because we also have deferred compensation that we could discuss on your W-2. Hey, Jose, how much can you defer for later? But am I diversified enough? You don't want to just focus on tax deferment. We also want to work on accounts that are tax exempt for you, but also, hey, Jose, how about if this year you had excessive medical expenses? Why are you just being so close-minded to itemizing when every year situations change? How about if a new baby coming into the family?
Yeah.
How about if now we have a child that's going to college, there's college deductions.
Yeah.
How about if now, the years in the past, you didn't have daycare, now you do have daycare. So everything changes. So it's imperative that you meet with your tax professional, and it's an ongoing conversation, Jose, because our lives are always evolving.
Absolutely. So that's something that you taught me, deferred compensation. To go a little bit more into details, I mean, you can be paying into a 401k or paying into an IRA, and it can help you for your taxes, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, it does help you, because the easiest way that I can explain it, Jose, is whatever you contribute is a deduction off of your gross income. So whatever you contribute is going to be deferred for the future, and then you're going to pay taxes on that in the future, but you get a tax break now. And this is why it is so important that you also understand, hey, am I going to be at a higher tax bracket in the future, lower tax bracket? Am I deferring too much?
Yeah.
So those are the things that we have to look at. And are we deferring? Are we diversifying? How much do I have on the tax exempt bucket? Because you know what, Jose, there's also ways that you can grow your money tax free.
Right. That is so awesome. That's so awesome here. So I do want to tell the viewers a little bit of my story and how, Yesenia and I started, tax strategizing. I can't remember the year, but I do remember the instance when I actually we talked about my taxes, and I want to say that I owed somewhere around $10,000 to $13,000 in taxes. Do you remember that now?
Oh my gosh, how can I forget that day? I think it was one of the first years that we were working together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the first years, and I'll never forget that day. I'll share with you why.
We had our meeting, and what would happen is my wife and I, we would go sit down and do our taxes, and afterwards we would have a lunch. And that day I do remember sitting in my truck. It was such a a pit in my stomach. And I want to say that Andrea and I, we went to the bar afterwards. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was that year. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. Oh my gosh, Jose, I remember that. You sat in the parking lot for a long time, and I would peek out my office and I would see you there. I'm like, oh my goodness, should I have intervention? Should I call 911? This guy is in a zone. I mean, You were just so disappointed. And I'll never forget what you said. You said, I worked so hard.
Yeah.
I worked so hard to build a future for my family. And you said, don't take me wrong, I don't mind paying taxes. I know that's the American way. Mm-hmm. But you said, why? Where did I miss it? Where did I miss it? And then I said, well, let me show you your blind spots. And I said, look, we grow from error to error or mistake from mistake, but we grow. Don't focus in the past. And that was the first year that you and I and Andrea, your wife, we sat down and we truly, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's ever been a year that you've ever paid again.
Not after that.
Yeah.
Not after that. The tax strategy that we employ every single year has helped me every single year. And this is why it's so important. This is why taxes and tax strategy is so important to me, because I know how to tax strategize for the following year. So the money that you're bringing in, you can allocate that money for other business services. So my business continues to grow on top of growth because of tax strategy.
Absolutely.
So it's not always, I'm bringing in new business. It's what am I doing with the existing business that I have now? So this is where it's helped me. But I vowed that day, sitting in my truck, I I will get better. And every single year we've gotten better.
Absolutely. It's a tremendous change, a tremendous growth in you, not only as a taxpayer, but then you're a businessman.
Yeah.
And you know how to duplicate your money. You know how to grow your money. And to you're like, it makes no sense to me to pay all this money when I can strategize, plan, and whatever I get back, duplicate it, invest it in something different. And you've always done that. And Jose, I've seen your growth as a business owner. I've seen your growth in investments, and you're on the right track. You're on the right track.
I appreciate you. A lot of it is because of you.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
A lot of it is because of you. Now, I will say that, the stat that I gave you, 47% of America, I don't believe that it has to be that way. I do believe that, podcasts like this and giving people the real truth about, tax strategy is important for our community. So this was part of the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, not only to help business owners, but to help people that, maybe have a job. Like, it doesn't have to be just for business owners. It can be for somebody that has a job that can tax strategize for the following years. Now, Yesenia, how do we get a hold of you, or what is the best way of getting to you for the following year? Do you take appointments throughout the whole year, or how does it work?
Absolutely. I take appointments I'm very proud to say, Jose, that in the 30 years that I've been in business, I'm not a seasonal business. I'm not a seasonal tax service. I am open 365. No, I take that back. Only Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving. My office only closes 3 days, 3 holidays. We're open every day. Just give us a call and make an appointment. I'd rather see you this year. It's half of the year is gone, Jose. Half of the year is gone, but we still have 6 months to go. And one of the things that we can do is that in these next 6 months, we can completely strategize for the following year. And I wanted to add something. People, younger generations, I love the younger generation. Not that I don't like seasoned people, but I love the younger generation because the younger generation they are the future.
Yeah.
And if I can start implementing and changing their mindset right now that they're younger, I feel that America has a better future, and the younger generation has a better future when we start with them young, even though they're just employees. They don't even have a home. They don't have a family. They're very young. They're 18 years old. They're just becoming independent. That's when I want to sit down with you.
Absolutely.
That's when I want to sit down with you.
Let's start planning for that. Now, a lot is said because the economy has changed. Here, where everybody, younger people were going to normal, 8-hour jobs. Now there's a lot of gig workers. And when I say gig workers, we're talking about, Uber. We're talking about freelancers. We're talking about Fiverr. So I use this system called Fiverr to recreate my social media and everything that I'm working on. How do you help a gig worker? And when I say gig worker, I mean freelancers?
Yeah. There is so many things that we can do for them. Number one is that we do a projection of income. Hey, give me a projection. What are we talking about here? Are we gonna start as a sole proprietor? And then let me tell you, on this industry, if you're an Uber driver, depending on what you're doing, even if you have those food trucks at the swap meet, I always look at, let's do a projection. Let's see what you're going to be doing. And then also, let me give you a list of the deductions that you have to look forward to, because everybody it's not a one size fits all, Jose. It's not like I can give you a list and say, hey, those are deductions. No, I tailor the deductions to the business. So I help you from the beginning and then let you know, okay, step by step. As you're evolving, Jose, as you're growing, then depending on your situation, that's when we can make a recommendation as to, hey, are we going to transition to an LLC? Are we going to transition to S Corp, C Corp? That's when we start having those conversations. But in the beginning, it's, hey, let's do I always say this, Jose, you have to have a solid foundation. Because if you don't have a solid foundation, anything happens, you're going to crumble. So when you're just starting, hey, you're a W-2 earner, you have your 9-to-5, that's wonderful. That is secured income.
Right.
But now you're exploring entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So as an entrepreneur, I believe in entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur, I can say, my entire life. I don't remember when was the last time I worked for someone, but I love it. It has challenges, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Right. And we see it a lot more. Somebody has their 9-to-5, but they sell candles, or they sell, they go sell at the swap meet. So it doesn't have to be daunting, because even for me, like, my life changed when I went from an S Corp to an LLC, and then now I've opened multiple businesses where I understand that, the tax repercussions to all the money that's coming in. I have to make sure to pay my taxes. So it's the same thing for people that are gig workers. Don't feel just because I'm a gig worker doesn't mean that you don't pay taxes. Everybody should pay taxes. Sooner or later, you're going to have to structure yourself in the right way in order for you to get the max benefit of your employment.
Absolutely. And not only that, but think about it, Jose, where's your purchase power? If you're not reporting your wages or your income or your business properly because you don't want to pay taxes, or you want to write off everything you have, that, I'm not a loan officer, but I know that this is your industry, but correct me if I'm wrong. If you don't file your taxes properly, how does it affect your purchase power? You either have no purchase power, and then at the last minute, you're like, hey, Jose, qualify me, but you didn't structure your taxes right. You didn't show enough profit. You have really limited your potential to be able to invest or purchase.
It happens all the time. I have people that come in and, it could be from any industry, and they say, hey, I want to purchase a home. Well, how did you do your taxes? Oh, well, I wrote off all the income, so they don't have effective income. But again, it's about tax strategy, working with the right people, understanding that loan officer is going to show you, hey, this is the income that you need to report to help yourself purchase a home. Those are the things, the consultations that you make, and the plan that you put out, the path, is what's going to get you to the next level. And for me, that's what it's been. It's a constant getting to the next level. It never ends. I don't believe that in business you ever finish. It's a journey. It's a journey of business life. And right now, that's where I see young people. They need to sit down and figure out, what am I going to do? Like, I have a very successful business, but what am I going to do with it? Like, afterwards, you have to think long term, and you have to think past the next step. The next 5 moves. What am I going to do when I'm really successful? You're going to want to purchase a home. You're going to want to use that income to purchase a car. It's the same thing. If you're not reporting income on your tax return, it's going to be hard for you to buy a car. Maybe you can buy a car from, some car lot, but it's not going to be with the greatest terms.
Nope.
I can tell you that. So, well, Yesenia, I truly believe that tax strategy is something that is a humongous part of business. And I want to make sure that our viewers understand that tax strategy is very, very important. We want to thank you for coming on the show with us, giving us more information about tax strategy. If you guys want to get a hold of Yesenia, what is your business name?
It is GNL Tax Pros. We have 2 locations, one in Madera. We have a brand new location. Jose, I'm very proud of this location.
Yes.
It's in Fresno. So we have 2 locations. We're there. You can call the office from 9 to 5, schedule your appointment, and you can look me up. We have our website. So GNL Tax Pros in Madera and Fresno.
Hey, I have to schedule with her too, so don't feel like I just get the open door. I have to schedule too. Thank you guys so much for watching Vol Business Podcast. Again, giving great information on insights of business. This show is geared for tax strategy, but we have more wonderful content coming. Please share and like our videos so we can get more content out to you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you.